So Kamala Harris had the nerve, the gall, and the audacity to sit up and talk some 20 acres and a mule regarding the things that were promised to our foundational Black American ancestors. I don't know if it's the sheer part of ignorance, stupidity, lack of intelligence, or just flat out utter disrespect on the part of Kamala Harris. But one thing's for sure, two things for certain. This woman ain't black, and she for sure as hell ain't no foundational Black American. And this is a good case in point to prove to y'all how detached she is from foundational Black American society and culture. Here we have it. Everyone in their grandma knows that was promised. What was promised to our foundational Black American ancestors was 40 acres and a mule. This lady's sitting up talking some 20 acres and a mule. Shows you how detached she is from foundational Black American society and culture. And I got the audio and the video of our brother Judge Joe Brown going in on her. He's always going in on her and called her out for what she is, a cosplaying chameleon that moves in and out of different circles, groups of people, and puts on this big front. So Judge Joe Brown calling her out. I got the audio and the video of it, and we're gonna walk through and talk about this thing. Fair use.
Sick and tired of somebody trying to lure us down like we're some kind of damn duck with some fake Negroes to lure us in so we can be trapped. We don't want any more damn decoys. We want Black people in charge. We want Black people getting the game. We
want Black people in charge and Black people getting the game. We don't want someone, trying to lure us down. See, a lot of times what he said right there was true, right, and exact. A lot of times they'll pull a melanated face out here to be just another form of racism, white supremacy. The same way they did with Barack Obama. He sat up in office. Black people were getting a bullseye put on their backs and unjustly unalived right and left by the system of racism, white supremacy, and he sat up and passed LGBTQ laws. Insane. And Barack Obama and Kamala Harris share one thing in common. They tethered and they not of our lineage as foundational Black Americans. This is why they work so hard to put a real foundational Black American up there in office, because they know we got a different resilience and fighting spirit inside of us. We are taught at a young age to address racism, white supremacy wherever we see it, and call injustices out everywhere we see it. Be it work, school, home, wherever in our personal lives, we call injustices and oppression out and stand up to the system of racism, white supremacy, and the chips may fall where they may. We ain't worried about where the chips fall. We just worried about knocking injustice and oppression down. And these other groups are cool with injustices and oppression, being done, as long as it's not done to them and their specific group of people. They complicit in it, if you ask me. A lot of times, you got melanated collaborators of white supremacy, such as Kamala Harris. She ain't nothing but a melanated face, a different form of racism, white supremacy. And they dangerous, more dangerous if you ask me, because they could come amongst us and we drop our guards and, not acknowledge it for what it is being racism, white supremacy. And this is how a lot of our great civil rights leaders and things of that nature were taken out, because melanated Black people were working in collaboration with the white power structure. And this is the same thing as Kamala Harris, dressing it up, putting a black face on it, which she'll do nothing for foundational Black Americans. She already told us what she was going to do. We don't need another powerless Negro up in office. We need somebody that's going to affect real true change. We need a foundational Black American up there in office. But this is what they don't want to happen, because we share the same lineage, the same ancestral connection to America. So we are able to see ourselves through the people, our people, and we're able to identify with the struggle, and we'll affect real true change. And the dominant white society don't want real true change. White supremacy don't want true change, because they cool with the status quo, and we'll work to knock injustices and oppression down on any front. But let's get back to the video.
We want somebody to answer the questions. We don't give a damn what you feel like. We want to know what you're going to do.
And we ain't concerned with optics. Judge Joe Brown right on point with this. We ain't concerned about, what you saying. We concerned about what you're going to do, what's tangible. We need something that we can reach out and grab a hold of, like them old AT&T commercials. But let's continue.
When are we going to get that? And when are we going to start insisting that we get that? And when are we going to get over this idea that just because they look like us, they're supposed to help us? And by the way, aside from her being a fake,
and somebody that look like you ain't necessarily supposed to help you, because a lot of people, a lot of times what was happening with our great civil rights leaders, they was bringing a black melanated face and putting them up there, and they was working along with the white power structure to take the whole organization down and to get our people unalive, because they knew that they couldn't go in there as being white people, so they dress it up and put a black melanated face, and get them to work in conjunction with the system of racism, white supremacy. But let's continue.
Even if she was real, what is her connection to America? Her parents weren't trying to be immigrants. They were just here temporarily on student visas.
And he going the money right with that, She ain't got no ancestral connection to America, so she don't share in the same struggles, the same things that our people went through. So she can't identify with us. She ain't got that same no disrespect, will, and tenacity to fight injustices and oppression. Kamala Harris will be just something, a tool in the white supremacist handbook that'll just push the status quo. She ain't going to affect no real true change, especially not for foundational black Americans. She's doing who she's going to do for. She's prioritizing all these illegal, undocumented immigrants, sending money outside of the country, and that'll be more of what we get. And she's in office now and ain't doing nothing for foundational black Americans. So miss me with her being the tool to affect some change to the black community, because this just isn't going to happen. But let's continue.
In work visas, they were passing through. She grew up in Canada. She doesn't have the instincts of what we have here. She can't even talk about it right. Oh, we're gonna.
He's right in that. She ain't got the instincts to talk about injustices and oppression. And we as foundational black Americans, we're taught that at a young age that injustice and oppression of any form needs to be knocked down. And like I said, a lot of these other groups of people, they just cool with injustices and oppression as long as they getting whatever they got coming in that's beneficial to themselves and their group. But let's continue.
I can do something about the fact that we didn't get our 20 acres and a mule. Every damn somebody in America, including the white folks, knows it was 40 acres and a damn mule. And she's talking about 20.
Judge Joe Brown was right on the money with that. Even white people know it's 40 acres and a mule. And this shows us foundational black Americans, this is a perfect teaching lesson for those of y'all that want to co-sign Kamala Harris and make her black by any means necessary. She ain't black, and she for sure as hell ain't no foundational black American. She don't even know what was promised to our ancestors. But in closing, Kamala Harris do nothing for foundational black Americans, and we'll get what we getting right now, which is absolutely nothing. Just my thoughts on the matter. Peace.